made a self-audition to play Robin.
I did.
Now you're officially in the DC universe.
I am. It's a freaking trip, man. I'm honestly, I made that tape not as everyone interpreted as like, oh, Ryan Potter is auditioning for Tim Drake. It was actually just for the fans, as a thank you to the amount of rallying and Twitter movement, Twitter movement that was behind that campaign, because that campaign doesn't stand for me getting a job. That campaign stands for Asian Americans in Hollywood, further progressing the needle. And you know, it's always an interesting topic because I sit on the fence and I look into 2 yards, and I don't belong in either one, but I belong in both. And the needle of the biracial voice, that is the next step. That is the next needle I want to push forward, because when you are from a single culture and a single country, you think in the same way that your people do, to a certain extent. Everybody has an individuality, but when you are 50-50 and you belong to both cultures and you understand both cultures, you're not half. When you're biracial, you're not half, you're wholly both. And that is the conversation that I wanted to get to, starting from Tim Drake. Because of the movement that I saw, I was like, I see an opportunity to get to point B if I just complete point A. So, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Gar's journey this year, how is he changing?
How is he changing?
Over the course of the season?
We're working on getting Gar to the point that everybody already knows him to be at. We are exploring kind of a gray area of Gar that has not been explored before, in the sense of, you know, when Gar was with the Doom Patrol as Changeling, and then he goes and joins the Teen Titans, he's just kind of recruited and he is suddenly Beast Boy. That we never really get to see him leaving Doom Patrol. We do in the sense of him hunting down, you know, the killers of his family, but being a teenager, leaving one family and going to another, there's a lot involved with that, you know, and I'm sure there are families that can relate to that story, because maybe they have children or they are parents and they were at one point those children that went from one family to another. So it's a Beast Boy that people are unfamiliar with, but I modeled it after the Wolfman Perez, the Teen Titans, and this new dark DC world, and we found a nice amalgamated version where in each episode he serves the purpose that he needs to serve. His heart is still genuine and true. He is the light in the dark hallway, and he's, you know, he still thinks he's funny. Like that's all that matters, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, to kind of piggyback off that, you kind of, like, in the animated world, we've seen Beast Boy always be just this complete comedian, just completely laughing and joking about everything. Yeah. Would you say that your character finds the balance between being the comedian and serious, or do you think he's joking at first, but when he sees how serious the situation is, he kind of just balances to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the most famous Wolfman Perez panels that was pulled from the comics is Beast Boy's quote of, you know, I would fall apart if I wasn't cracking jokes the entire time. And I'm butchering the quote because it's actually written differently in every iteration, but it's along the lines of, you know, if he didn't use humor as a coping mechanism, he would fall apart. And I've found that moment and the Teen Titans Beast Boy Terror arc to be the most genuine moments from Beast Boy, where he pulls back his humor and you get to see his heart a little bit more. He's an interesting character. You know, he's got the tragic superhero origin story, and he has an interesting life in general. Like, he went off and was an actor for a little bit. Like no superhero was in the public eye in the same degree that Beast Boy was. Like, he loved the attention. He loved being the green guy only after he realized that it was cool to be green. Because at first it was, you know, it's traumatic, and it's like, this is not real. This is not what humans look like. and to touch base on, that is that gray area that this new character is exploring. But he is still rooted in Wolfman Perez, in the Cartoon Network Teen Titans of this new DC world.
Sorry guys, I'm just doing the way. Sorry.
I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Questions.
All right.
Have a good rest of con.